Hi everyone, I'm Carol, and welcome to everyone who's joining us today for the induction to UCL Support Services. Some of you will be joining us from their rooms in London, whilst others will be in different countries all over the world. Wherever you are right now, we are so happy to be able to welcome you to UCL. And let me say first, you've made a great choice. UCL truly is an amazing place to study. And why can I say that? Well, I've made the exact same decision twice, in fact, over the last few years. I was a student at UCL, and in my final year, I put myself forward for election to lead the Students' Union. And I'm now one of 7 final year or current students elected each year to make sure the Students' Union is always putting the interests of students first. We're supported by a staff team and hundreds of student staff who are all here to make sure your UCL experience is the best it can be. Arishi and I will be your hosts for this session and will guide you through the next 75 minutes. But first things first, Arishi, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone as well?
Sure. Hi, everyone, and welcome from me too. I'm Arushi, and I'm your Women's Officer at the Students' Union. And like Carol, I'm one of the 7 full-time officers representing students at UCL. Carol and I can say from our own experience that what you'll hear and learn in the session today will be hugely important for you in your time at UCL, now and in the future too. You'll get an idea of how you can make the most of your time at UCL.
You'll know where to turn to when you need advice or are struggling.
You'll find out how to get yourself in the best position for your future career.
You'll get tips on how to set up your UCL password that'll be the magic key to literally everything.
You'll learn how to use our libraries, and trust me, you'll need them.
And last but not least, you'll find out how to stay safe in a big city like London. Throughout today's talk, presenters will make reference to the Welcome to UCL app that you all should have downloaded to your phones. You can see the app on screen now. All services that will introduce themselves today have a section under Support Services, and you can find out more information and useful links in the relevant app section. The Union even on the screen in just a few moments. Here we go, we've got library services, and I think now it's going to be the Students' Union. There we go. So let's kick off the introduction to support services at UCL, and we'll start with us, the Students' Union. We'll talk you through everything we have to offer, our plans for the Welcome Fair, and how you can make the most of your time at UCL, in London or remotely. The UCL experience is about much more than what you study, and we're here to help you make the most of it all. We're the place where more happens. And regardless of your level of study, all of you are members of the Students' Union. We have more than 45,000 members and counting. Half of our members are postgraduate, and around half are joining us from outside of the UK. And you are all automatically members of Students' Union UCL. But what does that membership get you?
You'll see these words repeated all over the Students' Union website, where more happens. And we want to be the place for exactly that. Your union membership means that you can unlock countless opportunities to do something you already love, find a new passion, develop yourself, challenge yourself, and make new friends along the way. To sum it up for you, we're your route to more than 320 clubs and societies, countless volunteering opportunities, part-time jobs that fit around your studies, events, great places to eat, drink, and chill in, an advice service when you need it, and if you want to make lasting change at UCL, we can help you do that.
So let's give you a rundown of all the wonderful things the Union has to offer. For some of you, this might be a completely new concept, and others may have already checked out our huge online directory of clubs and societies. From the Tea Appreciation Society to K-pop sock, we've got more than 320 different clubs and societies for you to choose from. And you can join them all if you wanted to, but I have to say, it's not really recommended. I'm not sure if you quite have the time to fit them all in. More than 15,000 students join clubs and societies each year, and it's probably the easiest way for you to find people who like the things you like. All of our clubs and societies are run by students, supported by us. These are the groups that will help you make friends, pursue your hobbies, find new passions, and really live the UCL experience. I, for example, was part of Greenough Society. It was my departmental society. And for me, it was a great way to make friends across the years in earth sciences and get closer to my course mates. And one of the many things I gained were so many absolutely terrible geology puns. Arushi, what clubs or societies were you a part of?
I was part of Sci-Fi Fantasy Society and also Indian and Hindu Soc. The most fun thing for me was definitely being part of Hindu Soc's annual giant Rangila show event. Maybe sport's your thing and you want to get into it. Thousands of students stay active through the Students' Union. Look out for Project Active if you want something like ad hoc and beginner friendly, Team UCL if you want to follow your passion for a particular sport and compete in leagues nationally, and our elite athlete program for those at the absolute top of their game. And good news is we're having access to all of our sporting facilities, like our sports ground, for the start of this term.
So let's take a little breather here. You're all thinking the same thing right now, I'm sure. You're wanting to ask, how is this all going to be possible right now and this year? And yes, you are, of course, right. Everything feels different this year, and our approach to things has to be different for a little while as well. Our approach for the start of this academic year will be online first, and everything we do will be guided by the government and expert advice of UCL. But our commitment to you is that you'll still be able to make the most of the start of term remotely, no matter where you are. Maybe you've already taken part in some of our digital events, and if not, have a look through the Welcome to UCL app or the What's On calendar on the Students' Union UCL website. There are plenty of events to choose from, and we've made sure to have something for everyone.
The same applies to our amazing clubs and societies. They'll be doing everything they can to help you make the most of your time here. If you can't take part in in-person activity, you'll be able to join clubs and societies for free with a remote membership. With this new type of membership, you can take part in everything for free online and then upgrade to a paid membership once you're on campus. If you're in London, our student groups will be running events and activities in line with government guidance throughout Welcome Week and Term 1.
Also, important dates to note down now, either in your heads, on a piece of paper, on your phones, or even better, in the Welcome to UCL app, are the dates for the digital Welcome Fair. The Welcome Fair will take place on Wednesday, the 30th September, so tomorrow, and Saturday, the 3rd of October. You'll be able to meet and chat to all of our clubs and societies, watch performances and demonstrations, and join in with the online event. As you can see, we've worked really hard to welcome you in the best possible way. Online does not mean it's not happening. It's just happening a bit differently. Arushi, let's go right back to what else the Students' Union has to offer.
Okay, at the Students' Union, we also have our wonderful volunteering service. If you want to discover London whilst giving your time to help life-changing charities, both online and in person, we can help you do it. There are literally thousands of ways for you to do more and make a difference during your time here. And whilst you're at it, you'll be adding valuable stuff to your CV, giving back to the communities you're living in, and discovering London in a unique way. So there are all these great things you can do and get involved in. But of course, we do know that life always isn't easy. This place is big and there's a lot of things going on. Your welfare, your well-being, and your mental health are all incredibly important to us. We have our own advice service run by professionally trained staff, and they can advise you on issues like housing, money, and if you need it, problems on your course. Maybe I should mention the one thing that makes us different from any service you can get at UCL, which is that we're separate from UCL, which means whatever happens, we've got your back.
As we said at the beginning, we're a membership organisation led by our members. You guys. Members decide what happens here by voting, standing for election, putting ideas forward, and representing others. Have a look through our Make a Change section on the Students' Union website, and you'll see how you drive what the union does. There's a big election coming up in October, as well as all student meetings where you can start to shape the kind of union you're a member of. We've talked all about the things you can do on top of your studies, but we know your priority whilst you're here is to do well on your course, and your experience on your course is important to us too. We're working hard to represent your academic interests every day, and we spend a lot of time getting feedback on what your academic experience is like, and then we feed this back to UCL and push for changes to make things better.
And like we said earlier on, we're separate from UCL and we're working for you. So that means we can push UCL on your behalf to make the kind of changes you want to see. Pushing UCL on campaigns like Why Isn't My Professor Black and Zero Tolerance to Sexual Harassment have led to greater change and investment has led to greater change and investment in both anti-harassment and anti-racism work at UCL. You'll hear us talking about rep elections a lot over the next few months. There are more than 1,600 students voluntarily representing others here. By the end of October, you'll know who they are, and you might even be a rep yourself. We're London's largest student community, but there are lots of different communities within the union membership, and we call these communities networks. And you can join them and be involved in what they do. We have networks for women, which is run by me, the Women's Network, the BME Students Network, LGBT plus Students Network, there's the disabled one for disabled students and students who are parents or carers. We know that life at UCL might present challenges for anyone defining into one or more of those groups, so they exist to find and provide a way for those groups of students to find each other and campaign for change.
What UCL is now and what it will be in the future is down to us, the UCL community. Your voice is central to the progress UCL makes. Feedback about your experience, be a rep and work in partnership to make change, shape UCL as UCL shapes you. And last but not least, we have a lot of places and spaces for you to hang out on campus, places that will become very important for you at some point, I'm sure. We're not for profit, which means that every penny we make in our cafes, our bars, the student gym, and our UCL merchandise shop, both on campus and online, goes back to you through the services we provide. All the things we do that we've just talked about are funded by your daily coffee. So thanks for that. Most of our spaces are open for you now, and you can just check on our website for more details.
This was only a quick snapshot of what the union is and what it's come to offer. It will be those things you learn over the next few years that didn't come from your lectures, your reading lists, and that's the stuff that will stay with you forever. And we at the union are here to make sure that happens for you. Don't worry if you're not remembering everything we've said. The best place to find information is the Students' Union UCL website, to follow us on Instagram, and to watch out for our emails about news and events that you'll see from us every week. You'll not miss out on any good things, we promise.
Yeah, just to quickly answer a question we've just had in the Q&A. Yes, I am the Carol that sends you those Thursday weekly emails. So this was kind of it from us about the union, but we're hosting this entire session, so now we'll guide you through other UCL support services available to you. First up are our colleagues from Student Support and Wellbeing, or SSW as we call it for short. Oftentimes, the union's advice service is working together with SSW to ensure all students get the best possible support. Hi Mitesh, welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Mitesh. I hope you can hear me. I work in the Student Support and Wellbeing team. So with our Student Support and Wellbeing service, we support each and every UCL student, no matter what your program is. So whatever level of study or where you're from, we have a number of different teams from different specialisms, but we are all caring, inclusive and open people. And we work really hard to ensure that you and any student who needs support can get it, and that's the right support for them. In particular, we manage a range of different resources from students who are new to UCL to help them settle in, whether you're, like I said, new to UCL, new to the UK, or new to university altogether. You're probably having already seen our new students website and our countdown to UCL emails, which you would have had in the lead up to joining us, and our Welcome to UCL app, which we're going to talk about a lot, all of which are designed to give you all the information you need to get started.
That sounds great. What's the Welcome to UCL app? Tell us a little bit more about how it works.
Okay, so everyone watching would have booked onto this talk using our guide for new students in September 2020 in the Welcome to UCL app. So you're probably already familiar with the app itself, but just make sure you search your program in the schedule to find out the events that your faculty and department are putting together on for you this week. And remember that you can add events as well to your own personal schedule to help you keep track. There are dozens of social activities and other events being run by the Students' Union, as mentioned by our colleagues, and other teams too, to help you meet new people and settle in. And don't forget to keep those push notifications switched on so you can get up to all the latest updates.
Mitesh, you've mentioned what you do for new students, but how about after students have settled in? Can they come to you if they're struggling?
Absolutely. So our main role is to make sure all our students can stay healthy and perform to their best of their ability. So we have a wide range of support services to help you look after yourself, especially your mental health and well-being. So lots of you might be thinking this means counselling, and we do indeed have an excellent counselling service that's really easy for you to access. But there's more to it than just that. We're trying our best to support students before they might need counselling to help you or maintain a healthy and happy balance between your studies and other aspects of life. We have a team of disability, mental health, and wellbeing advisors who are available to all students. So you can speak to one of these advisors for a friendly, supportive chat if you're feeling a little bit stressed, maybe, or you're having issues with affecting your well-being. It can be easy to book an appointment. Just contact us through the Ask UCL Student Inquiries portal. And you can easily get an appointment on the same day as well. So for some students, this could be just one conversation, which is enough to help you find the solutions. And our advisors, our experts, are great at signposting you to the right support, whether it's internal or external as well, or possibly referring you to the student psychological and counselling services and other special services. So whatever you need, we'll get you the help you need, and we'll always follow up with you later to check on how you're doing.
Brilliant. And how else do you help students look after themselves?
So our UCL Cares platform, if you haven't seen it, please do check it out. It's on the students' website. It's filled with helpful blogs, videos, and podcasts, and events to help you manage stress, look after all sides of health and well-being, and really thrive at UCL. You'll often see the UCL Cares features in my UCL emails and the social media. So keep an eye out for, especially for the wellbeing hashtag Wellbeing Wednesday posts as well.
I have to say, I like those posts whenever they come along every Wednesday. So you've mentioned the disability, mental health and wellbeing team. Maybe you can go into a bit more detail about what support is available for disabled students in particular.
So if you're a disabled student or have a long-term health condition, which could include things like a diagnosed mental health condition or a specific learning difficulty like dyslexia, then you'll gain access to a wide range of additional support to help you remove the barriers and give you equitable opportunities to succeed. So if this is the case for you, then we really encourage you to get in touch with us if you haven't already, like I've mentioned, through the Ask UCL portal. So one of our advisors, they'll get in touch with you, arrange an initial appointment, and work out we're together to agree a reasonable adjustments that you need. So this could include things like assistive technology or software, extra time in exams and assignments, or human support like mentors or study skill tutors. Again, the most important thing to say is that we're not prescriptive in this. We always base the support we put in place around your needs, and we'll work together to make sure this works for you. We also have support available for international students as well. So our international student support team is available for all students who aren't from the UK, and they can gain help with practicalities of settling in into the country, but also things like banking and healthcare and travel. Yeah. So they work really closely with the UCL's team of immigration advisors as well to make sure that you get through your visa application process smoothly. And remember to check out the Student Support and Wellbeing online orientation program if you haven't done it already.
Whilst we're on the subject of international, I know that a lot of students are interested in placements abroad.
Yeah, so we do take care of that as well. So our study abroad team manages placements for the UCL students in partner universities overseas. So also short-term opportunities that you could take over the summer as well, and other breaks. So things like work experience and volunteering as well. So if this is something that you're interested in, or you have a year abroad as part of your program, then check out the students' website for more information. It's obviously a difficult time for travel at the moment in the world right now, but the team are helping many students as they can safely take placements, and they're hoping to get back to normal as soon as we can, with lots of more students going abroad, hopefully in the near future.
I was one of the students that was supported by that study abroad team when I went abroad in my undergraduate to California. Best year ever. So back on topic, what about random questions students may have? Can they come to you with this as well?
Absolutely. So we've got the Student Inquiries Centre who manage the Ask UCL Student Inquiries portal that I've mentioned a few times. So the Ask UCL is a really helpful resource that allows you to look through hundreds of FAQs as well. So before you even submit an inquiry, you might want to look through the FAQs. And then if you still don't find the answer that you're looking for, submit an inquiry, which will go straight to one of the team and they'll answer it straight away. So you can track your inquiry as well to see where it is in the process. And finally, if you're living in halls of residence, you might have already seen some student resident advisors or a warden like me, who's in halls at the moment. We offer SRAs and postgraduate students who live in halls and help support and build a sense of community through the student accommodation Flourish events. If you haven't seen these, there's more information about the Flourish events on the accommodation website. As well as being on call, SRAs are there to support students to sort of have a friendly face if should they turn to. I won't go into too much detail at the moment, but if there's more information available on the UCL students website, and making the most of the support and advice services week, which is going to happen on the 5th of October, and you can find the Welcome to UCL app that day.
Fantastic. It really sounds like there is support available for everyone that needs it. And I'm sure everyone who has joined us today is very pleased to hear that. If you could give just one message to our new students, what would it be?
The one thing that we've not really mentioned is to register with a GP. So if you're able to come onto campus and you're based anywhere else in the UK, then it's really important that you register with a GP and a doctor. So that is to get you the help with any health issues, whether it's physical or mental health. Yeah. So we work really closely with Ridgemount Practice, which is the UCL's partner GP surgery close to the campus. And we'll often advise students that we speak to make sure that they contact their GP. So it's hugely important that you register with the GP. Lots more information about registering with the GP and Ridgemount is on the UCL students website. And don't worry if you haven't taken all of this information in. I know there's a lot of information to process in a very short space of time. So have fun in the first few weeks, and then join us for making the most of support and advice service week. Like I said, the week beginning the 5th of October, where we'll do a deep dive into all the support services to help you settle in into UCL and talk about all the wellbeing activities that are available for you. That's it for me. So thank you very much. And don't forget to look after yourselves.
Thank you very much, Mitesh, for the introduction to student support and wellbeing. This was really a good overview, and I've definitely learned more than I knew kind of before this session. And yes, it was for sure a lot of stuff to take in, but as Mitesh said, you can access all this information through the app under the section Support Services. So something that might be on your mind already, or will be something on your mind very soon, is how to get yourself in a good position for your life after studying and how to be best prepared for your future career. Next up, we have our colleagues from UCL Careers who will be able to talk us through just that. Sky, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. So my name's Sky. I'm the Marketing Communications Manager at UCL Careers. So this term, our careers professionals will be able to offer all of their usual appointment types via video chat using Microsoft Teams. And not only can students enjoy one-to-one support with their career planning from the comfort of their own homes, but our full range of talks, workshops, and events will also be available online.
So when should students begin to make use of UCL Careers?
So as soon as possible, whether you know what sort of career you're looking for or you don't know where to start, we're here to help you explore the sort of person that you are and the sort of work that would suit you best. The key piece of advice I'd give you is speak to us. I think there's this common misconception that I can only go to UCL Careers if I know exactly what I want to do, which is not the case. Come and speak to us. We're very friendly. But your first year is an excellent time to start thinking about the options that are available to you by exploring the jobs and career paths that exist in different sectors and industries.
So it sounds like students should start thinking about their future sooner rather than later. And just a quick plug for the Students' Union here again. If you'd like to find the right online or in-person volunteering opportunity to gain work experience, the Union can help you with just that. And in terms of support your team can give, is there any extra support for specific groups of students?
Yes, so as well as activities and support for international students, we also have a programme of additional support for students from particular backgrounds and situations called UCL Careers Extra. So UCL Careers Extra is available to you if neither of your parents went to university and you went to a UK state school, if you're a care leaver, carer, disabled, your household income is below £25,000, if you're Black African, Black Caribbean, or mixed Black African and white, or mixed Black African, Caribbean and white, or received an Access UCL offer. So there's a sign up link and more information on the UCL Careers website.
Something that I know is of huge importance to get that internship or work experience that you really want. So do you guys help with CVs and interview preparation?
Absolutely. So our careers consultants can provide one-to-one support of your CV and applications. We also welcome employers to provide one-to-one coaching that will help you get your CV up to scratch or provide very valuable feedback on application forms and cover letters. And if you're preparing for an interview specifically, whether that's video or in person, we can help by offering you a practice interview session that includes mock interview, feedback on your performance, advice on how to improve, and there's also time to raise any concerns you might have. Not only that, there's more. You'll also find support with CVs and interview preparation in the form of our very popular YouTube series called Careers Lab. And you can check that out for top tips on all things careers and employability.
Brilliant. So you've said earlier that it's best for students to start thinking all about things career from term one. And can you help students find an internship or work experience?
Yes, so absolutely. As well as the careers fairs where you can meet employers virtually yourself, UCL Careers also has a team of staff who are dedicated to a number of programs to provide UCL students with work experience. So also, my UCL Careers is regularly updated with amazing opportunities from different sectors, employers, including some that are specifically looking for UCL candidates.
Oh, wow, that's really interesting. So do you work directly with employers?
Yes, lots of them. UCL Careers is connected with almost 8,000 employers in the UK and around the world. So many of them actually engage with us in a range of events and activities. Plus, we have regular contact with employers and gather labour market information so that we can give you the best and the most up-to-date advice, no matter what your starting point or ambition.
Great. Now, looking at the term ahead, can you give us an example of some of the events we can look forward to this term?
Yeah, it's a really exciting one. So from next week, we kick off with the careers fairs. There are also employer-led skills sessions, sector theme weeks, and careers essential workshops. So that's just to name a few, all of which you can find out more about on the UCL Careers website. Oh, we'd also encourage you to subscribe to the UCL Careers newsletter for weekly careers updates, events programs, online resources, and guidance. And you can do that by logging into My UCL Careers.
Brilliant. And just one final question from me. What do UCL graduates go on to do?
This is a really common question and a great question. We have a fantastic resource for this. So you can find out what graduates have gone on to do after leaving UCL by using the data dashboard, and you can find a link to that on the Welcome to UCL app and on the UCL Careers website.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sky, for introducing us to all of UCL Career Service and all the wonderful things you do. And talking about wonderful things our UCL alumni are up to now, nicely leads me on to the next service we're introducing, the Alumni Relations team. Katie is here from the UCL Alumni Relations team to talk to us about how that team works with thousands of alumni volunteers who give their time in a number of ways to support students at UCL. Katie, could you tell us a little bit more about UCL alumni and the work of your team?
Hi Carol, thanks so much for the introduction. So yes, I'm Katie and I work for UCL's Alumni Relations team. We're a team of 11 people who work to engage, support and really partner with our alumni community. To give you an example of the size of our community, we have over 300,000 alumni living across 190 countries worldwide. So wherever you go in the world, you're really likely to come across someone who studied at UCL. We've mentioned the Welcome to UCL app a couple of times earlier on in this talk. You'll find on there a section labelled Alumni Relations, and it will contain all the links and resources for what I'm going to mention today. And it also has a really nice video from one of our volunteer alumni members, Luna, who shares a little bit about why she values staying in touch with UCL and supporting our students. She describes it as the network that never stops creating opportunities.
Brilliant. Is there a way for students to connect directly with alumni? There we go.
So yes, we're actually very lucky in that we have an online community platform called the Alumni Online Community. Students from all levels of study can join and connect with alumni mentors all over the world. The platform's a little bit like UCL's own version of LinkedIn in that you can view someone's professional profile, which is really helpful for sort of looking at who you'd like to connect with. On the platform, you can view news and events from within our community, and there's also a really good jobs board. To find yourself a mentor through the platform, if you search the directory, you can filter by UCL course, location, or particular industries. So it's really great for reaching out to alumni for CV advice, sector-specific knowledge, and build connections with people all over the world.
You mentioned that alumni volunteers can support students in a number of ways. In addition to that kind of mentoring, what else do alumni volunteers support students with during their time at UCL?
Sure, thanks for asking. So as a team, we also run an award-winning professional development program called UCL Connect. You can really tap into the professional expertise of our UCL alumni community through this series of events, resources, and networking opportunities. All of the events are always listed on the community platform I mentioned earlier. It's aimed at students, again, all levels of study and new graduates. And it's really your chance to find out how to break into an industry or sector or learn some sort of expert skills-based knowledge. To give you an idea, we recently ran an event called How to Present Yourself Professionally Online. And another one we had was meeting one of our lead consultants, Russell Pell, who led an event on how to break into consultancy. And our alumni also volunteer their time in a number of other ways. We met Sky from UCL Careers just earlier, who mentioned careers fairs, themed events, internship opportunities, and you'll find our alumni volunteering their time at a number of these events, also at faculty, department events across the whole university.
With UCL alumni living all across the world, can they provide support to our international students?
Yes, so this is the wonderful benefits of being in such an international community. I mentioned earlier that we've got alumni living in 190 different countries worldwide. So it makes it really easy to meet alumni wherever you go in the world. As well as searching for alumni in various locations on the online community, you can also connect with alumni through our global alumni groups. We've got groups, to give you an idea, in Hong Kong, Shanghai, Beijing, Singapore, New York, France, Germany, a lot across Europe, just to name a few. You can find a full list of all of our alumni groups on our website. Alumni groups regularly host socials and career development events, so it's a great way to both grow your professional and personal network. Also, it's a really good way to reach out to people if you're going back to a home country or if you're interested in moving abroad or working somewhere different. It's a really good, valuable resource to really understanding what it would be like in that place.
Brilliant. So when we graduate, are there any other benefits of staying in touch with UCL?
Yes, we mentioned earlier again, UCL Careers, all of those wonderful services that Sky was talking about, we continue to offer that for our graduates up to 2 years out. You will all have a student email address. That email address continues when you become an alum, so that you can really keep the UCL name as you go off into your lives. We also offer access to thousands of free e-journals to help you transition to postgraduate study, into your career. You've got that access free of charge. And I mentioned a little bit about all of the international clubs. We also have sector-specific clubs and interest-based networks that you can join, such as we have a BME network, LGBTQ+, a recent graduates network that are really active and really welcome new members.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Katie, for introducing us to the work of the Alumni Relations team. You've talked about some of the really good ways students can all benefit from the support of our UCL alumni community, and also why it's a good idea to become an active member of the alumni community ourselves after leaving UCL. So just because we didn't want to talk, for 75 minutes straight, there's going to be a 3-minute comfort break. So we'll be kind of joining back 3 minutes from now. Please stay on this call. Just, take your headphones off, stretch, go grab yourself a drink, that kind of stuff. We'll be back in just 3 minutes. See you then.
Welcome back after the quick break, everyone. Okay, next up are our colleagues from the Information Services Division, or ISD, which is what we always just call them. In short, these guys will be really important for you guys to get access to all the IT you need while studying at UCL. Hi, Caroline. So
Hi.
you're from ISD.
That's right.
What's that, and what are you here to tell us about?
Sure, yeah. So thank you for having me. It's brilliant. ISD stands for Information Services Division. As you said, it's a bit of a mouthful, so people just call it ISD most of the time. And we run the central IT services at UCL, so things like email, Wi-Fi, printers, software, that kind of thing.
Fantastic. So if I'm a new student, how do I find out more about the IT services you deliver?
Well, if you're coming to campus, you can pick up a booklet with all the key information, but it's available at the main and science libraries and the student centre. But all the information is also available on the ISD website. So if you just go to ucl.ac.uk/ISD/students, and of course there's a link in the Welcome to UCL app under ISD. So if you have a look there. On the ISD website, you'll find step-by-step instructions and videos to help you through the process of doing things like connecting to our remote desktop service or connecting to Wi-Fi, anything like that that you want to be able to do. And you'll also find out about ways to improve your digital skills and how to download free software like Office 365 software and antivirus software.
Brilliant. So what do I need to access these services?
Well, for most services, you'll need your UCL user ID and password. You should have received an email to your personal email address telling you what your 7-character user ID is, and details of how to log into something called My Account to set up your account. And once you've set your account up with your password, you'll then be able to use that user ID and password to log into things. Depending on which service you're using, you might have to put at ucl.ac.uk at the end of your user ID as well. So for example, for email, you have to use at ucl.ac.uk at the end. Your user ID and password are really important, so don't share your password with anyone or let anyone see it. No one at UCL should ever ask you to share your password with them verbally. So if you are asked to enter it anywhere online, just make sure that the link you've been given is trustworthy, either from a trustworthy email or a trustworthy website. If you're at all unsure, then please contact us and check. We've had a few questions on the question and answers about your mail alias, and people get a bit confused about this. You should get an email from the postmaster to your UCL email address, and it will give you a special address that you can use. It's like a sort of more user-friendly version of your address, and it's your first name dot last name or something like that .20 at ucl.ac.uk. And you don't use this to log into anything. It's just a more user-friendly email address that you can share with people. People can still email you using your 7-character user ID followed by at ucl.ac.uk, but it's nice to have something with your actual name on it as well.
How long can you keep your password before you have to change it?
It really depends, actually. If you choose something that's really long and strong, then you can actually keep it for as much as a year. So it can be a real, incentive to try and choose something really strong with symbols and upper and lower case characters, all that sort of thing. If you think for any reason it might have been compromised and someone might know it, then obviously change it straight away. There's guidance for choosing a good password on the My Account web pages, so you can have a look at that for some tips.
I think you'll definitely need them because when you're here as an undergraduate, you have to change it many times over the years. So what would you say are the most important things for students to do if they haven't already done them?
Okay, first and foremost, we've been talking a lot about email. Check your UCL email regularly. This is how your department's going to contact you, how we and ISD would contact you, the library will contact you, and so on. So it's really important to check it. Don't just look at your personal emails. And if you're writing to us, if you're writing to a UCL service or writing to your department, it's a good idea to use your UCL email as well, because they'll be able to tell that it's actually a genuine UCL person. The other thing to remember is if you changed your mobile number since you set up your account, you need to register your new mobile in My Account. So that just enables you to easily change your password if you need to. if you've come to the UK from another country, you might well have changed your mobile. So that's why we say that. But obviously, there's lots of reasons why people might need to change their mobile number. And last but not least, we really recommend that you do the Connected Learning at UCL course, which is in Moodle.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Moodle, I mean, I obviously know from using it myself that Moodle's a big thing. Can you please tell us a little bit more about Moodle and the Connected Learning course?
Sure. So we call it a virtual learning environment, but you can think of it like a sort of hub where you access most of your learning. So every module that you're taking will have its own course in Moodle. And there'll be resources in there like slides for any presentations that you need to watch, recordings, reading lists. There might be discussions you need to take part in, that kind of thing. You'll also find that there are some courses that are available to all students, regardless of what modules you're doing. And in particular, the one I just mentioned, the Connected Learning at UCL course, which provides lots of advice and guidance on how to learn and study effectively, especially now that we're spending more time doing online activities all the time. You can access this course as soon as you've got your user ID and password, even if your course hasn't started yet. And you can find it under the student help menu in Moodle, or searching for it using just search for Connected Learning at UCL, or there's a link under the ISD part of the Welcome to UCL app as well.
Brilliant. This all sounds really good. So what if a student needs help or they're having trouble using one of your services?
Well, obviously, it's ideal if you can try and find the solution yourself with using the instructions and videos on our website. And our IT services people are really busy at this time of year, so it might take them a while to respond, but you can contact them if you need to. So they're available by live chat or by phone or by email. And there's actually support available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So, you can always contact them, and you can find the details on the ISD web pages. If you just go to ucl.ac.uk/ISD/help, and I've put the link into the Welcome to UCL app as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for that intro to ISD. Now we all know what we'll need to do to have that everlasting password. Next up, another service you absolutely can't live without as a student at UCL, a service where your access to systems is required too, the library service. I for sure have spent countless hours in the library using it as a study space, browsing through bookshelves or collecting books for my coursework and my research. Hi, Angela, welcome.
Hi, Ayushi. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I'm Angela from Library Services. I'm part of our library skills team, and we provide training and support for developing the skills you need to use the library and library resources effectively.
Brilliant. Welcome. So what might new students need to know about the library?
Okay, so the library is really at the heart of supporting the teaching and learning and research at university with a vast range of resources and services that are available to you. We find that our new students often have very differing perceptions of what to expect from the library, depending on what their previous experience of libraries is. So to get a better idea of what resources and services we have to support you during your time at UCL, we recommend that you get started by taking a look at our online library induction. It'll tell you all of the key things that you need to know. So if you only engage in one thing to find out about the library, then the online induction should be it. You might also have a library induction or some extra library induction materials that are available through your academic programme, which will tell you about things that you might specifically need to know about for your discipline or for your particular programme. And as part of your programme, you might also get an introduction to the librarian who provides dedicated support for your subject area. Remember who that librarian is, or if you don't get an introduction, take a look at the subject guides on our web pages to find out who they are. They're your main point of contact. They're really important to get in touch with. They're an invaluable source of knowledge and support.
Now, you guys obviously have countless resources available. Where do I start if I want to find a book for my course or my research?
Great. Well, first, it's worth noting that the library isn't all about books. We do have over 2 million books, but we've got thousands of other online resources, including electronic books and articles, and some really rich historical collections as well. Whatever you are after, the place to start is Explore, and there's a picture of it up on the screen at the moment. This is our library catalogue, but it's also the entry point to link to all of our online resources. You can access our online resources from anywhere. You don't need to be on site. You just need your UCL user ID and password. But if it's a book specifically for your course that you're after, have a look out for an online reading list for your programme or module. You should find a link through the Moodle course for that module, or you can browse or search our reading lists at UCL web pages as well.
Brilliant. So this year, there'll obviously be a lot of students who might not be able to make it to campus. So how can they get access to the books, articles, or other materials they might need?
Okay, so we've got a huge range of resources that are available online. And over recent months, we've worked to increase our online provision even more. And you just need to link to them all through Explore. We've also been working with academic teaching staff to make sure that there's online access to course readings, including digitising readings as well, so that students can access them wherever they are through their online reading list.
Okay, so that's really good to know. And are those students who are able and wish to come onto site, can they get on into the libraries?
Yep, so we've got 16 libraries across London, and they've all got different subject specialisms, and we've also got our historic special collections as well. We've been reopening our libraries and our spaces ready for the start of term. There's a range of different study spaces, including the Student Centre, which has got a whole range of really great spaces to study in. Our libraries also have got computing facilities, including laptops, which you can borrow as well. So capacity in our spaces at the moment is set according to current guidelines, so you can be sure of a safe space to study. But it does mean that you do need to book a study space online in advance before you come to the libraries. And also, if you want to get hold of any of our books or our other printed materials from our libraries, you need to use our click and collect service. So again, you need to order online in advance of your visit. So don't just turn up to a library thinking you'll be able to get in. You do need to either have booked a study space or book to collect an item. All current information about accessing our libraries, including the study space availability, our opening times, any temporary changes to the way our services are operating at the moment, take a look at our web pages, because there you'll find up-to-date information. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
Great, thanks. A lot of our students might find that when they have their very first assignment, they need some more guidance to help them find relevant library resources. Do you guys provide any training to help people develop their library research skills?
Yeah, absolutely. So our library skills training materials and lessons are designed to support the library skills development needs of all of our students. So from online support for getting started with using reading lists or Explore, through to skills needed for assignments like literature searching, evaluating information, referencing, all the way through to in-depth training to support people undertaking research, so including advanced literature searching, reference management software, research data management. In addition, students may find that they've got tailored library skills teaching that's integrated into their academic programmes. Now, learning how to find, use and evaluate information is a really important part of your degree. So do take a look at our library skills at UCL web pages. A screenshot should be coming up on the screen, where you'll find lots of additional support.
Brilliant. And what if I have a particular question or I'm feeling a bit daunted? How can I get more help?
Well, we do understand there's a lot to take in, and a key message I'd like to get across is that really one of our most valuable resources are our library staff. We are here to support you, and we're only too happy to help. So please do approach us. There's lots of ways you can get in touch. We've got a brand new live library chat service. You can email us at library@ucl.ac.uk. You can also make a request for a one-to-one appointment with your librarian. We've got an online form for you to do that. Or if you are able to come to site and get into one of our libraries, having booked a space or a click and collect item, you can talk to one of our friendly staff at the help point in the Student Centre or inquiry points in the libraries as well. We are here to help you, so please do get in touch and connect with us.
This all sounds fantastic. Thanks for that, and also for the quick intro to library services.
Brilliant, thank you.
And last but not least, we'll now talk about something which is of huge importance to all students at UCL. Your safety is the most important thing to us, and we have an expert team to deal with just that. Welcome to Sophie, who'll talk us through UCL security. Sophie, can you quickly introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you, Carol. Hi, everyone. I'm Sophie Bimson, Crime Prevention and Personal Safety Advisor here at UCL. I sit within the security team, and it is my job to give advice and support to students to keep them safe on campus and further afield. So let me get straight into it and tell you what UCL security does. Our core objective is to provide a safe and secure working environment for all students, staff and visitors at UCL. It's a massive job. We have over 200 buildings, over 43,000 students, and over 13,000 staff to look after. Security are responsible for everything from building access controls, monitoring CCTV on campus, coordinating VIP visits. We have a number of royals that have visited us, responding to alarms, issuing your ID cards, and managing lost property, amongst so much more. We're a 24/7 service, so we're always here to help students and staff with any security concerns they may have.
If you could bring it down to your top 5, what are the top 5 reported crimes or personal safety issues, and what can students do to avoid them?
Well, first off, I will qualify this list by saying UCL is very safe. That said, we are in the centre of a very large city where crime can take place. We don't give you any of these messages to worry you. We give you these messages to keep you safe and make sure you have the best time at UCL. So number 1 on the list is phone theft. So this is usually done in one of 2 ways. One is by distraction. So say you're doing some work in a cafe and you have your phone out in front of you. A criminal may see this and decide to come over and speak to you, maybe saying that they're asking for help with directions. They then place a piece of paper over your phone, and when they leave, they pick up the paper and your phone with it. It can take a few minutes to realise what's happened at this point, and by that point they're gone. So it's best to make, in order to prevent this, we would say, make a habit of keeping your phone in your pocket or in a zipped up bag next to you, but somewhere secure. Another method is phone snatching, which is where a criminal uses a bike or moped to cycle on the pavement and snatch the phone out of the victim's hand. We would always recommend keeping your phone away from the roadside, staying alert in your surroundings, and making sure your phone is locked so that when it's not in use, so that then the person taking your phone cannot access your personal information. You can also register your phone on immobilise.com so that if the police find your phone, it can be returned to you.
I've definitely known a few friends who's had this happen to them, so it's just good to be reminded not to leave personal stuff lying around.
Yes, absolutely. And the same applies to laptops and bags. As campus gets busier, it's easy to pick up little tricks to reserve study spaces in our libraries and cafes. One of these is to leave your laptop or phone as a space saver and then go to the counter for coffee or pop to the toilet. Unfortunately, there are people on campus who might take advantage of unattended valuables and will snatch them whilst you're not looking. This can happen very quickly, sometimes in less than a minute. So please make sure you do not leave any valuable property unattended for any length of time. Please take it with you wherever you go or ask a friend to look after it for you. So number 3 on our list is fraud and scams. So unfortunately, there are some people out there who will use deception to make money. We have had previous incidents where students receive calls pretending to be from the Home Office or Embassy, saying there's an issue with your visa, but actually these are criminals trying to get students to pay huge amounts of money directly to them for illegitimate purposes. Similarly, there are people who will take your money to pay your tuition fees for a reduced fee. Unfortunately, this is always a scam, as UCL doesn't do discounts. Our advice is always just to take a moment. Please do not rush into giving anyone any money or your details. They may put pressure on you to do this immediately, but you will never get in trouble with the authorities for checking the legitimacy of a request. If something doesn't seem right, please check with security or call the police, but don't act straight away. It's very difficult to get your money back after it has been transferred or handed to someone else. So number 4 on our list is bike theft. So cycling is the most fantastic way to get around London when you've familiarised yourself with the rules. From time to time, we do get reports that students' bikes have been stolen, so we have some very simple advice to prevent this. We would suggest, where possible, you use UCL bike racks, as these are mostly covered by CCTV and offer you additional protection for your property. It may be tempting, but we wouldn't recommend smashing out on a really flash bike. Many criminals know the value of a bike brand and may target them for the return they will get. We always recommend 2 bike locks, so that's using a D-lock and a chain to keep your bike secure. Criminals will be put off by the time it takes to cut through 2 locks when they may only have to get through 1 lock on a different bike. My advice, make it as difficult as possible for the criminal.
That's a really good point. And just so you know, on this call, lots of new bike racks have been installed on and around campus, so hopefully everyone will be able to find a safe parking spot for their bike.
Yes, that's correct. There'll be around 600 new parking spaces on campus soon. And that takes us to number 5, which is tailgating. So this one isn't a crime, but it leads to crime. So just before I mentioned thefts of personal belongings which have been left unattended. Well, unfortunately, this is how that tends to happen. So when you get to campus, you will be issued with your very own ID card, which is your all-access VIP backstage pass to UCL. Please hold onto your card and please don't lend it to anyone else. It's really natural for us to be helpful and hold access controlled doors open for our fellow students and staff. The problem is we don't know who we're letting in, and the person you are letting in could be up to no good and essentially there to steal. Our best tip is, if you can't see a UCL ID and someone is following you towards an access secure door, please step back and let them use their ID card to access the door. This avoids confrontation and makes sure we're not letting non-UCL people into secure parts of campus. If someone tailgates you in and looks lost, please alert security and we will come and speak to them. You never need to put yourself in a conflict situation. If you're worried, you can always call us at security and we will step in.
Okay, so that's a lot of things to be mindful of. Just to make sure we don't scare people off, these things don't happen to every student who comes to UCL. We just want to make sure that you know these things can happen. So it's better to know what the risks are and what potentially could happen. How could I contact security if I needed them?
So there's lots of ways you can contact us. When you get to campus, you will see lots of friendly security officers in high visibility vests. They're normally located near campus and building entrances. If you need anything at all, please speak to them. They are there to help. You can also call us in an emergency. Our emergency number is 0207 679 2222. Or in a non-emergency situation, you can call us on 020 7679 2108. If a crime is taking place or if you are in danger off campus, please call the police on 999 in an emergency or 101 in a non-emergency situation. And please check out our Instagram and Twitter too, both lowercase at UCL Security. You can find all this information at the Welcome to UCL app too. So you can find us by going to Support Services and then scroll down to UCL Security.
Thank you so much for that, Sophie. And just so that everyone on this call knows, once you've collected your UCL ID card, one of the numbers that Sophie just said about contacting UCL Security is actually mentioned on the back of your ID card. So remember to take that with you and you'll never have to remember the UCL Security number because it's there for you. So now back onto topic. A topic we are passionate about as a students' union as well. If students experience sexual misconduct, harassment or bullying, how can this be reported?
So we do have a specific reporting platform for sexual misconduct, harassment and bullying at UCL. As a student, you can report online anonymously, or you can choose to leave your contact information at Report and Support. You can decide where this report goes and whether you would like support. You can tell us as much or as little about what happened as you feel comfortable with, and it's a great way to access support at UCL. UCL and the Students' Union have training that we encourage you to take part in that will help you to respond to and to prevent harmful behaviours from taking place in your living and learning environments. We have an online consent module and active bystander intervention training, as well as the new student orientation module. You can find out more about this from the Full Stop campaign, which you can access from searching for Report and Support on our web pages. So that's all from me, thanks. Thank you so much for listening and stay safe out there.
Great, thank you so much, Sophie, for this quick overview of UCL Security. That was really useful and I've certainly learned more things than I did at the beginning of this talk. So everyone, this is it. You've gone through your induction of professional support services. I'm sure you've learned a lot of new things today, but we know that it's been a lot to take in. And all the information, including websites and links we've talked about, will be available on the Welcome to UCL app for you to have a read and click through later on. So, especially for those of you who are not in London at the moment, we'd like you to have a look through the introductory programme that UCL have put together for you. In the app, you'll find this under Your Online Induction, and you'll be able to explore campus remotely and get to know all the people and places you should know.
Thanks, everyone. Bye for now. Stay safe.